thank you, Phyllis, and thank all of you for being here tonight to celebrate our collective achievements. I know what goes on to make this dinner happen, as I've been here many times before, but never on this side of the podium. So please first join me in thanking and congratulating the Citizen Action staff for making yet another terrific event happen. The annual awards dinner is as much a part of the Citizen Action tradition and history as the progressive advocacy and direct action organizing that makes this coalition great. I know how many times each of you have gotten a call about buying tickets or putting an ad in the ad journal, and I know how many times Phyllis has called Dina and Teresa to find out what the head count is, and I know this night can go on very long, so I'm going to try to be brief. It is such a huge honor and tremendous privilege for me to be standing here. Citizen Action is a special organization to all of us. For me, it's simply part of who I am and part of who I'll always be. I came here to New Jersey with my liberal politics already quite well in place, thanks to my mom. She gave those to me. She also gave me a car. And in 1990, as a Rutgers student, I amassed a huge sum of parking tickets. I don't know if she knows that. So I needed to make some quick money, and I went to work for what was then the Collect Canvas, working the phones and raising money for a single-payer health care bill that was sponsored by Joe Roberts, who was then a young assembly member. 25 years later, we're watching our nation move towards affordable health care for all Americans. So in addition to learning to spec high at the Canvas, Citizen Action taught me a great many things, and most of which is to never give up. Phyllis taught me to never take no for an answer. When Governor McGreevy's staff sat with us and said there was no way he would ever sign a millionaire's tax, we just went out and worked harder, and eventually he did. When everyone said we would never have publicly financed elections in New Jersey, we took Joe Roberts, who by then was the Assembly Speaker, to Maine to show him how it could be done. And for a while, we did have publicly financed legislative races in our state. And I got the pen from the bill signing, because that's another one of Phyllis's rules. If you get the bill passed, you have to get the actual pen that the bill is signed with. When certain banks, none of whom are here, said they wouldn't negotiate a Community Reinvestment Act agreement with us, we went picketed, and I think I dressed up like the Grinch, and we got an agreement. When businesses said that increasing the minimum wage and creating family leave policies would destroy New Jersey's business environment, we found employers who disagreed with that publicly and supported us, and we proved those naysayers wrong. When George Bush, W. Bush, threatened to privatize Social Security, we led 1,000 people through the streets of Westfield. That demonstration, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure violated all of the fake security rules that were intended to keep protesters away, took the wind out of Bush's sails and put that proposal right in the dustbin of history where it belongs. When Congressman Holt was in, I think, his third recount, we didn't give up hope because we elect people at every level of government who put fairness and justice in the forefront of their work. And we still do, and we'll keep doing that. When I look back on those times, it seems kind of unbelievable to me that such a small staff could have such a huge impact. It really was an amazing period to be part of Citizen Action for me. And I'm grateful to Kathy Malmstrom, where is she? There she is. For hiring me and feeding me caffeinated coffee. And I'm very grateful to Phyllis for mentoring me along the way. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most amazing, committed, talented, selfless people, co-workers who became my friends, Bridget Devane, John Weber, some folks who aren't here tonight, Anthony Wright, Melissa Anley, Ed Liebman, Mike Olander, the late Ralph Scott, Teresa, Lila. To work with terrific board members like Paulette and David Weiner. I put this in big print, David, so I read more slowly. David, Victor Lugo, Wayne Smith, Mitch and Matt, Gene Otterson, Hetty Rosenstein. And to have teachers like Steve Max and Jackie Kendall. Citizen Action is more than a job. It was a life for me, and it was a crucible. The fact that so many of those staff members we work with have become leaders in their own right in other organizations, here and across the country, is really a testament to Phyllis's leadership. She taught us how to hire great people, how to raise money, how to do press, how to make strategic alignments, how to be a bad cop in a meeting. I might not have needed that lesson, but she taught us anyway. But most of all, she taught us to think strategically, to think how to build organizations for the long haul, how to build organizations that can contest for power against people who have a lot more money and a lot less interest in democracy. Because that's what this is about. It's about the fight for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To make sure that every person has a job at a decent wage, at a living wage, that every child has a chance to go to a great school and live in a great community, that people who love each other can get married, that none of our neighbors goes hungry or is homeless in one of the world's most wealthy places. Not one of us can do this work alone, and that's what makes Citizen Action so great, because it brings us all together to do the work. I'm fortunate, so fortunate, to be able to continue to work with all of you in my role at the Housing and Community Development Network. I'm thankful to Diane Sterner for bringing me on, and to my wonderful board for giving me the chance to lead a terrific organization. I want to thank my amazing staff who's here tonight: Nina, Chaz, Arnold, Sharon Barker, some of the most wonderful people I've had the chance to work with. I want to thank my mom, who came from Boston to be here. I don't know where Rhode Island came from. My mom marched with Dr. King. She fought to end the Vietnam War. She took me to my first rally when I was 2. I got quoted. And she taught me as much about boycotts and fairness for working families as she has about what it means to be a strong, independent, self-reliant woman in a world that doesn't always value that. I'm grateful to my sons, Billy and Sam, who I think have put down their devices for their sons, who are as much a part of my history of Citizen Action as any law I helped to pass, and who represent everything that the future should be for children: hope, joy, and compassion. I want to thank my husband, Bill, who couldn't be here tonight, thanks to many of you. He was endorsed by the Citizen Action PAC and won his election as a school board member, and somehow wound up being president and now has to run those meetings. So we don't see him on Thursdays. But when it was time for me to move on from Citizen Action, he gave me the strength and encouragement I needed. He's my rock, and I wish he were here. So thank you to all of my Citizen Action family and friends, to board members. Thank you to Phyllis. This award means the world to me. Thanks to all of you for letting me be part of your lives, and for sharing the work we do to make the world a better place. We have so much left to do. We have a lot of work to do to make ours, but I know that we can. We can do this. We can make ours a state and a country where no child goes to bed hungry, where no senior citizen has to choose between eating or taking their medication or paying their rent, where nobody has to work 3 jobs just to afford an apartment, where nobody has to worry about being fired because they don't have a union to protect them. We can have a place where nobody has to live in their car, where nobody has to worry about being foreclosed on, and where nobody dies because they can't afford to go to the doctor. We can do this if we work together. Thank you.